Good morning. I hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to the class. If this is your first time taking my yoga basic flow class, you're going to need a yoga mat, possibly some water. I always like people to hydrate during. You are going to need a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a towel or a t-shirt, basically something that you can hold about this distance apart. So we're going to be using this a little bit later. Another thing you might want to try is using a block, a pillow, or a bolster when we're warming up and we're seated. It raises your hips up a little bit. It gives like a better line from hip to knee to the floor. We're going to start seated on our mats. And if you have that block or bolster, go ahead and sit on that. Your knees will drop down to the mat. I'm going to sit down so you can see. Give me 1 second. I'm just making sure that none of my gadgets are going to be making noise during this practice. Today's going to be a very soothing practice, not as flow, more basic, going over the poses and how to find better alignment in each one. So go ahead if you're not already. I'm just going to sit here so I can face you, but normally I would sit back here. I'm going to sit on the block, cross the knees in front. Let the knees kind of drop down to the mat from there. Sitting nice tall. Good morning, Zim. Sitting nice and tall, tuck that chin down to the chest. Good, take the gaze up. During this practice, I'm going to ask you to extend those inhales and exhales. Go overhead to your shoulder. And your other shoulder. Half circles. Good morning, Kashmir. Are you ready to do yoga with us? You are. Can I see these paws? Can I see the other one? The other one, be a penguin. Good girl. All right, from here, I want you to make big circles with your body. Just warming up the hips, the lower back, all the way up to the shoulders. Turn it up and reverse it. Most of you will have one direction that feels very awkward. For me, it's this one, counterclockwise. Good. Inhale, take those arms overhead, interlace the fingertips, really press those arms into the ceiling. Take a long breath in and out. Inhale. On the exhale, arch that back just a little bit more. Good. Release those arms. Let's take a few breaths together just to get into the rhythm of lengthening those inhales and exhales. We're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale. And exhale. Again, inhale. Last one. This is going to help keep that heart rate under control. I'm going to go over child's pose with you in a moment. That's the pose that you can always get into. If you notice that you need a break, you need to slow things down, I'm going to give a position to you that you can fall into that's still a yoga position that will benefit you. Let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall, eyes shut. This time you're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, and put a light constriction on the throat on the exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And during this practice on the inhales, let that air come in and fill up the belly and then come back out again. Don't try to hold in the stomach. This yoga practice is for you. There's no perfect pose. And when we're doing yoga, we're trying to find stillness and space within ourselves. And so I don't want you to be self-conscious or worry that you're not doing anything right. Just do this practice for yourself and try to find the best pose for your own body, because we're all
So different. I tell everyone, you and I could do the same workouts every single day. We could eat the same diet every single day. We could drink the same amount of water and we would look completely different because physiologically we are different. Go ahead and clear anything that's on your mat. And you're going to come to all fours. I want you to stack those hips right over the knees. The wrists are going to be right underneath those shoulders. Fingertips are wide. Externally rotate the fingers out just a little bit. On the inhale, you're going to drop that belly, lift that chin. On the exhale, you're going to round that spine, push all the air out, lift the head, bow forward. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. A few more of these on your own. This is called cat-cow. Can do them a little faster, a little slower, whatever feels good in your body. One more. Good. Neutral spine. I want you to pretend you have a hula hoop around your waist. We're going to do some barrel rolls. Keep those elbows loose. We're working out those hips. Again, we're stirring it all up. Go ahead and reverse it. Good. Nice neutral spine. You're going to walk those hands forward. This is going to be similar to child's pose, but you're going to keep those hips up. You're not going to sink them back. Walking those hands forward, you're going to drop that chest, chin, and forehead to the mat. This is called puppy pose. 5 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. In and out. Last 2. Inhale. And exhale. In and out. Inhale. Pop back up. Walk those hands back so that those wrists are stacked right underneath those shoulders. From here, I want you to take that right arm up to the sky on the inhale. On the exhale, you're gonna thread that arm through that hole there and like lean onto that shoulder. You can go ahead and bend that elbow on the arm that's supporting you. I'm just stretching at the shoulder and that upper back. You should feel this in the shoulder blade. One more breath here. And out. Inhale. Coming back to all fours. On the exhale, just neutral spine here. Inhale, take that left arm up to the sky. On the exhale, thread it through. Leading onto that shoulder. Stretching it all out. Good. Coming back to all fours, we're going to do our first downward facing dog. So on the inhale, I want you to have nice neutral spine. Tuck those toes. On the exhale, you're going to lift those hips. Keep those knees soft as you go into it. Now on downward facing dog, you don't need those heels to touch the ground. You can be up on your toes. Most people are up on their toes. It's about finding length in the spine instead of rounding it. Lengthen the spine, the hips, the legs. And if you try to ground those heels down, it tends to crunch the body in ways that it's not meant to. And if your heels are down, you might need to widen your stance. Did you see like how I can put my heels out if I'm here? That's not right. Go all the way out. Should be a nice wide pose. 2 more breaths here. Shake that head. Yes, no. No tension in that neck. Good. Go ahead and take those knees to the mat. They're going to go wide. Your big toes are going to touch behind you. You're going to sink those hips back. Really push that seat towards your heels. Walk those fingertips forward. Drop that chest all the way to the mat. Your forehead last. This is child's pose. 5 breaths here. Last two. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back to all fours. On the exhale, tuck those toes, lift those hips, downward facing dog. Pedal out those feet. Good. On the inhale, come up on your tippy toes, bend both those knees, look towards the top of the mat. You're hugging that navel in, tightening up that core. On the exhale, straighten those legs. Inhale, up on those toes, bend those knees, look towards the top of the mat. Everything's tense. On the exhale, rock back to downward facing dog. Last one, inhale. And exhale. 2 breaths here. Last one. Good. Looking towards your hands, you're going to take baby steps towards the top of the mat. Once you get to your hands, you're going to start a slow roll up, stacking those vertebrae one at a time. Your shoulders come last, up, back, down. Good. Shake it all out. Let's go over to Tadasana. Tadasana is a standing pose. It looks very simple, but there is actually some thought involved. Your feet are hip width distance apart, and I want you to pretend that your feet are a box. If you've done this with me before, you know this. Your toes are the top corners, your heels are the back corners, and really find that middle spot. Most of us, when we're standing just casually, we pitch our weight one way or the other. In Tadasana, you want to be very centered, very grounded, very strong pose. Your thighs are a little bit tensed. So go ahead and play with that balance for a moment. Find that perfect spot, and then hands to heart center. Just breathing here. Eyes shut. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Open up those eyes. Inhale, swing those arms all the way overhead. On the exhale, bending those knees, forward fold. All the way down to the mat. If you can't reach the mat, this is a perfect spot to have a block or something to put your hands on. Breathing here. Go ahead and catch opposite elbows. You're going to hang like a rag doll. Again, your knees are soft. You can give a gentle sway to the body. Stretching out that back, the backs of the legs. You should feel this all in the backs of the thighs, even the calves. And again, make sure there's no tension in that neck. Shake that head, yes and no. Good. Release those hands and slowly roll to a stand. Shoulders come last. Good. Shake it all out. We're going to do the same thing again, but we're going to add on to it now. Inhale, swing those arms up. On the exhale, forward fold. This time, you're going to place those fingertips on the mat. On the inhale, lengthen that spine. Try to make yourself a table, as close to a table as you can get. On the exhale, you're going to step back to a plank. If you're new, or if this is too much for those arms, go ahead and take those knees down. From here, you're going to inhale. On the exhale, hug those elbows into the side. And you're going to slowly lower your belly to the ground. Untuck those toes. Take the cheek to the mat and give those hips a rock back and forth. Long breath in and out. Good. With those hands right beneath those shoulder blades. On the inhale, it's like a string is pulling your head back. Just your shoulders and upper chest come off the mat. This is baby cobra. Exhale back down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale back down. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. This time you're going to press all the way up. Inhale, up to an upward facing dog. Your full belly, upper body is off the mat. If you want, you can even pull those thighs off the mat and just be on the balls of or the tops of your feet. But for now, let's keep those thighs or those knees down. Exhale back down, all the way to your belly. Take that cheek to the mat. Give those hips a rock. Good. Forehead is on the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog, all the way up, stretching out that back, lift that chin. Exhale down. Inhale, upward facing dog. This time, tuck those toes, lift those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, take those knees to the mat. They're gonna go wide to the edges. Big toes touch, really press those hips back. Sit back to those heels, reaching forward into a child's pose. Go ahead and stay in child's pose. Just listen to me. Because we should have done this at the beginning, but this is actually a perfect place to do it in child's pose. The beginning of your yoga practice, it's always good, even if the teacher doesn't tell you to set an intention for your class. It can be a word, a quote, a goal for the day, but it's something that you're doing in the present moment. You're focusing on it right now. And goals tend to be more future-based. Intention is something that you're doing with purpose, on purpose, right now. So find something that resonates with you today. It can be just getting through this practice, but have it be something specific. If you can't think of anything, focus on a person that you love and a memory you have of them. 3 more breaths here in child's pose. And go ahead and set that intention. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, coming up to all fours. I want you to go ahead and come up on those knees. You're gonna be coming up nice and tall. Let me turn a little bit so you can see this a little bit better. From here, on the inhale, nice, tall, long spine. Holding those hips. On the exhale, I want you to engage that core and you're gonna rock back to your ability. Inhale back up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Really engaging those thighs. You're gonna feel all of this firing for this. Inhale up. Go ahead and place those hands on the mat. Tuck those toes, lift those hips, downward facing dog. Three breaths here. Last one. Good. Baby steps to the top of the mat. And you're gonna roll to a stand, shoulders less. Beautiful, shake it all out. Grab some water. We're gonna do that same thing again, but a little bit quicker to the breath. When you link poses like that, we're gonna be doing Tadasana, forward fold, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and back to a Tadasana. It's called a Vinyasa. So if you ever see a class description that says Vinyasa, it basically means a flow. So you're gonna be flowing from one pose to the other to the breath. It's more aerobic, more cardio based, but we're only gonna be doing this one more time because we're just doing basics today. Standing nice and tall in Tadasana, feet are hip width distance apart. Inhale, swing those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, fingertips are on the ground, flat back. On the exhale, stepping it back to a plank. Inhale here. Hug those elbows in the chest, slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck those toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tuck those toes, lift those hips, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Walking to the top of the mat. Take your time getting there. Roll to a stand. You can put a softness in those knees. Shake it all out. From here, I want you to stand nice and tall in Tadasana. Feet are hip width distance apart. You're going to take that right foot back. It's going to come straight back. You're going to be on the ball of the foot. All of your toes are pointed to the front of the mat. Once you find a balance, you're going to bend both knees. Good. Taking those arms up, high lunge. 5 breaths here. Two more. Last one. Inhale, straighten both legs. Open up the arms. Maybe widen the stance just a little bit. You're gonna rebend this front knee. Make sure it's not going past a 90-degree angle. Arms are open. Gaze over those front fingertips. Both arms are parallel to the floor. This is warrior two. And with this pose, what a lot of students tend to do, so it'll help if you have a mirror or if you could look at yourself in the camera, make sure you're not pitching your weight forward. Your weight should be evenly distributed between those legs. Last breath. Inhale, straighten that front knee. You're gonna flip that palm. You're gonna take the warrior back, really reaching towards that ceiling. Good. From here, I want you to cartwheel those arms to the front of the mat as you step to the front with the right foot. From here, inhale, swing those arms up. Interlace the fingertips over your head. I don't think you can see my hands, but they're interlaced. Arch that back. Good. Come to a neutral spine. Then I want you to take your hands to your thighs. You're going to do a slow forward fold. Keep these knees soft. Grab onto the back of the ankles and pull gently. Good. Place the fingertips on the mat. Give those knees a slight bend. And straighten. Bend those knees. And straighten. Slow roll all the way to a stand. Shake it out. We're going to do the other side. Standing nice and tall in Tadasana. Left foot comes back. You're going to be on the ball of the foot. All of your toes pointed to the front of the mat. You're going to bend both knees. Arms are going to come up. High lunge. 5 breaths here. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, straighten those legs. Open it up. Maybe widen that stance just a little bit. You're going to rebend that front knee. Gaze over the front fingertips. And again, make sure you're not pitching forward. Evenly distributing that weight between. Beautiful. Last breath here. Inhale, straighten that leg, flip the palm, take it up. Good, cartwheel those hands, stepping to the top of the mat. Inhale, swing the arms up, interlace those fingertips, arch that back. Good, neutral spine, take those hands to the thighs, slow forward fold. Catch the back of those ankles or your calves, wherever you can get down to, and gently pull. Good. Place the fingertips on the mat. I want you to stagger those feet out so that your feet are almost to the edges of the mat. And then I want you to bend both knees and straighten. Bend both knees. Straight. One more. Good. Roll to a stand. Shake it all out. Grab water. Quick break. And then we're going to go into our balancing series.
I wish I could play music during the classes, but I think YouTube would shut it down. So if you actually, I should say this. If you have your mic muted, you can totally play music during. All right, let's do some balancing. Let's start with tree pose. So your right foot is going to come to your inner calf, the knee all the way up to inner thigh. Hands are going to come to heart center. Spot something that's not moving in the room and then take those arms up. Once you lock it in place, try to hold it for 5 of your own breaths. And then we're going to switch it out to the other side. Most people have one side that's stronger than the other. And spot something in the room that's not moving. And then take those arms up. This is working a lot of things at once. You should be tightening up that core, your glutes, your thighs, everything's working right now. Good, shake it all up. Warrior 3, it's like Superman pose. Standing at the top of your mat, you're in Tadasana. And take that right foot back, tap that toe, and hinge at the hips. You can only come up here, that's totally fine. The hands can be on the hips, they can be at heart center, or they can be out like wings. Whatever gives you the most balance when you do this. Let's see for me what it is today. I'm gonna hinge at the hips. And I think I'm gonna keep my hands here for today. And again, 5 of your own breaths. Good, and then switch to the other side. Tap that toe back, nice and tall. And then you're gonna hinge at that hip. And slowly coming up, shake out those legs. Take a seat on your mat, grab that strap. Standing the legs in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall. If you can't easily touch your toes, I want you to use your strap. So you'll put it around the balls of your feet. Inhale, nice and tall. On the exhale, forward fold. If you can grab the toes, go ahead and just grab onto those feet. Good. Go ahead and pull the soles of the feet in. Your knees are going to be butterflied out. You're going to hold your feet like a book. Sit up nice and tall. I want you to use your elbows to press those knees out. Keep that spine long. And if this doesn't feel like anything, maybe pull those heels in even more until you can really feel a stretch here. Sorry, Lynn. Good. Go ahead and come to all fours, just like we did at the beginning. Long breath in. On the exhale, tuck those toes, lift those hips, downward facing dog. We're gonna set up for pigeon. 2 more breaths here. Last one. Good. Take that right leg to the sky. You're gonna bend the knee. You're gonna swing that leg so the ankle crosses through. That right ankle is gonna come to your left hip. Untuck those left toes so it's flat. Nice and tall in those fingertips. And then you're gonna forward fold.
5 more breaths here. Last one. Good. Come up on those fingertips. You're going to tuck those back toes. Then you're going to swing that right leg all the way up and then down, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale, take that left leg to the sky. You're going to bend that knee, swing the ankle, cross it through. That left ankle is going to come to that right hip crease. Flatten out that right foot, extending it behind you, nice and tall in those fingertips, and then forward fold. If you find that there's a lot of strain behind that thigh and in your glutes, you can place a pillow or a block right here and take some of that strain off of it. Five more breaths here. Last one. Coming up on those fingertips, untuck those back toes, swing that left leg all the way up and down, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Good. Take the knees to the mat. You're going to swing the legs back in front of you. Grab onto that strap. Extend that left leg flat on the mat. You're going to catch the ball of the right foot and lay all the way onto your back. Go ahead and press that foot into the ceiling on the inhale. Nice, long, straight leg. On the exhale, pull that leg back. Gently. Good. Take both straps in that right hand. Left hand comes alongside your body. Open up that hip to the side. Inhale, bring that leg up. You're going to switch with your left foot. Placing that left sole of the foot in. Take that right leg down, extending it along the mat. Inhale, nice, long, straight leg, really pressing into the ceiling. On the exhale, pull it back. If this feels like too much strain, you can pop that knee up on the right leg. Both straps in that left hand, right hand comes alongside your body. Open up that hip. Good. Bring it up to the sky. Both feet now in the strap. Both soles of the feet in the strap. Nice long breath in. On the exhale, pulling up just so that your lower back comes off the mat. Good. Bend both knees. Release your feet from the strap. You can put the strap to the side. Hug those knees into the chest. Give that whole spine a rock. Using your 3 first fingers, grab those big toes. Open up those hips. Happy baby. If this feels good, you can give that spine a rock again. Good. Hug those knees back into the chest. Then let the soles of the feet come down to the mat. The knees are going to butterfly out. Hands on the belly, eyes shut. Long breaths in and out. 2 more. Good. From here, we're going to let go of those long inhales and exhales. You're just going to breathe naturally. Go ahead and extend those ankles to the corners of the mat. Your arms are going to come alongside your body. Palms up, eyes shut. And I want you to check in on your body. Where are you holding tension? A lot of us tend to hold tension in our knees, in our spine, in our jaw. Make sure you're completely relaxing, melting into that floor. I just want you to let it support you. And I'll tell you when it's time to come out. If you find that your mind is already wandering, come back to that intention that you set and focus on that. And slowly coming back, moving those fingers and toes, the wrists and ankles. Take those arms overhead for a big good morning stretch. And then leaving that right arm up, curl onto your right side, cushioning your head with that arm. And then making your way to a seated position. Legs crossed, hands on the knees. Take your time getting there. I'm going to take 3 long breaths together to close the class. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale. In. Last one. Good. Namaste. I hope to see you at the next class. This practice is a really good one to be doing a few times a week. If you're looking for like a regular yoga practice, this is a good one to take. And the replays are always available until the next class. If you go to my YouTube channel, they're all public there. If you know anyone else that could use a yoga practice, please let them know. I would love to help them out. I hope to see you guys Thursday at our next class. Drink your water,
Have some protein. Love you guys.